Okay, we're waiting for Daisy. My trilogy looks pretty good. Not pretty good. Wait till I make my other ornaments. Allah. This is pretty. I'm gonna make some big ornaments like this, actually. I don't know if I'm gonna do, I could do some glitter. I could just drip that on there. Those are stray seed beads. Multicolored seed beads, that's what those are. I got carried away looking at this popsicle. These are seed beads on there. Multicolored. Hi, my digs. I hope Daisy's able to get on. I'm gonna make a bunch of bowls for my tree. It's gonna look super cute with this cupcake. Let me double check on my messenger if there's no messages. Just so I could put him on my little thingy thingy. If we are 6, 20, 19. We'll get some, we'll get my slippers real quick. Well, just because I have my G-Nikes on it. I don't want to wear them no more. Hold on. Stay right there, Bubba. Let me show you my little angel tree. I'm pretty sure my tree works. I just don't have it plugged in right now. And my babies aren't around it either. Oh, hold on. I have to put the rest of the nativity stuff out. Let's see if we can find baby Jesus. Come on. Let's see if we can find baby Jesus. I think that's the angel, I believe. The messenger angel. So many animals. I wonder if the 3 kings. Or is this the messenger angel? I like the blue one. The pigs. It's so cute. There's so much stuff with this nativity set. It's like crazy. Donkeys. I think this is a wise man, but I'm not sure. Because there's the little station. Look. I'm looking for the baby Jesus. Oh, look, there's a single lamb. 8 made the milking 7 from the swimming 6 geese of rain. Oh, golden rain. I feel like this is where the chickens would be. Daisy, don't tell me somebody's gonna leave me hanging today. Where's baby Jesus? Dude, where is baby Jesus? Oh, look, there he is, except he's a grown boy. He's not a baby. What? Is that it? Really? I don't know if that's it. Let me see in the pig. Is this Mary? Or is this Mary? No, I'm just kidding. And who is this supposed to be? Oh, well. Well, let me double check my, wow. If you've never tried candied pecans, you gotta try them. No, just kidding. They're good. My tree looks good. I wish somebody was watching or somebody would hop on. I guess I'm just gonna. If she doesn't get on in the next minute, I can't just be eating candy the whole time. Look at this whole bag of stuff to put around. I'm sorry, Allie, you can't have none of those. Oh, there she is.
Sorry. Let me
Hey,
sit
friend,
down.
how are you?
Huh?
Mama, how are you?
I'm doing good. I just stay busy. I
That's
work out
good.
in the I work out in the oil fields, and it was hectic today because the
Oh,
holiday stuff like that.
oh,
But
of course.
I just
You work in the
here.
oil fields?
Yes, I work for Magic Mates, and what we do all their housekeeping, like for the company men, and out there with all the big folks. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
That's pretty cool.
yeah. And you, what are you up to?
Oh, nothing. Oh, I'm all nothing. Just working and trying to get this podcast off the ground. No, just kidding.
Well, it's okay because I get to see your beautiful face, friend. I'm so proud of
Oh,
you. I see
thank
you.
you.
I think that website, that the Facebook page that you made is great. I feel like it's a good way for us to keep in touch with a lot of people that
I
we all hang.
know.
Good,
That's
good
why I
memory.
did it
Yes.
because for us to be able to communicate, and then sometimes people get out and we can't talk to each other because whatever, like I don't know. I feel like that shouldn't even be a rule because how are we supposed to have a community? Like, do you know what I mean? How are we supposed to have
Well,
people who support each other and
Yes, and at the same time, it's part of reintegrating ourselves into society all over again. It's part of social skills. It's part of like it goes a long way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then it could also, to me, the way I look at it, it's always good to look at the people that are out here that are making it, you know, as ex felons, as being incarcerated, as being just, you know, it's harder. It's hard, but we're strong enough. Like, look what we lived through. Look how we got used to living. Like, we adapted. And everybody that's been in prison knows that prison is not for everybody. Like, it will either make you or break you, you know?
I know that's right.
I'm on.
I was thinking about your story this morning, and I was like, well, because some people when we come in, I feel like a lot of people think that they want to take advantage of people sometimes, you know, and that was
Yeah.
in your case, remember? So, well,
Yeah.
we're gonna, okay, so first of all, if anybody is watching and they've never watched this podcast before, our podcast is about people who have been formerly incarcerated, and most of our people have been formerly incarcerated from New Mexico. So we are like literally the recidivism rate in New Mexico. We are the people that are out here making it. Well, because most of the people, they just go back. It's a revolving door. They're just in and out, back and forth. We are like the 15% of people that are out here making it, like out state, you know, whatever it is. But
Yeah.
it's hard, and it is very hard. But I started the podcast because I wanted to way to have community, to be able to talk to people and to share our stories, because I feel like it's very important, and then to expose some of the stuff that goes on in there. So first we'll start with you, Daisy. Can you introduce yourself, and can you tell me how much time you did and at what facility?
Okay. Well, for everybody that doesn't know me and for those that know me, my name's Daisy. And I did time in my first rodeo was in 2015, I believe. And I was there for 18 months roughly that first time. And that's when I met Rhiannon. And which I want to thank God you were a blessing to me that time, because, oh my God, it was my first time. And I was just so gullible. I'm just a nice, friendly person, you know? And people try to take advantage of me. People try to intimidate me. And you know what? In the beginning, I was feeding into it, you know? But Shannon gave me a little backbone, and she's like, oh, hell no, ain't nobody know. And she pushed me out there, and that just made me stronger, you know? So I got out of there. I did good for a little bit, and then whatever, they revoked me again. So I went back. And the second time I went back was in 2018. And this time around, I went back on a 4-year habitual enhancement. So I went from doing 18 months the first time to 4.5 the next time. So that was a big chunk. And I did the first time we were over at CCA over in Grants. And I did all my 18 months there and I left. And then the second time I went back, we were at Western. So I did a year and a half in Western, and then I went to Springer, and that's where I reunited with my Rhiannon, you know. And after that, I went back to Western because, like she said, people try to take advantage of you. They try to push your boundaries, you know. And the first time it was a lot easier. I was more gullible. My mental state was a little bit more at shock, you know. You get taken out of society to get put into a totally different environment where there's full of restrictions. I mean, we're prisoners, we're felons. People are in there for all kinds of stuff, you know, and we just got to learn how to adapt to who's who and just have good judgment, you know. But yeah, so I've done my fair time. I've done my fair time, but you know, the second time was definitely a lot easier. It was still took adapting to do, of course, but like I said, it was just a constant struggle to just maintain headstrong and just know that absorb it and suck it all in, you know, and actually engage in the sports, in the activities, in just socializing. The first time at CCA, I was very sheltered. I stayed in my pod a lot. I didn't want to deal with anybody. I just wanted to get in and get out. You know?
I don't think
And
you played sports. You didn't even play sports, no?
not at CCA.
Yeah, but
And
the second time you did, yeah.
the
Mhm.
second time I was just different. You know what I mean? The first time I was kind of like broken. I was in shock. I couldn't believe I was there, because that could never happen to me mentality, And when it
Yes.
went in, it was like, you know what, it's really not that bad, but you just kind of culture shock at first, and but it was a blessing in disguise on the long run. I grew up a lot, but I still didn't learn my lesson because I went back, but the second time was a longer period of time, and that's really when I was able to be myself and express myself, and just I was outgoing. I was different, right? Wasn't I different from the first
Yeah,
time to
yeah,
this?
yeah. You were very different. Can you
Yeah.
tell me how you felt when the judge sentenced you? Whenever you were, well, because I assume the first time it probably wasn't that bad, but the second time with the enhancement and all that, that was probably.
Well, okay, so the first time it was just like, I ran from rehab. I was just a rebel still. Like I tend to push people's boundaries and test, like, see what's going on and how far I can get, And I realized real quick that I don't get far. With judges and judicial systems, you don't get very far just because you have a cute smile or you're a pretty girl or you have family, you have kids. Like, that gets old, and they look at us all pretty much the same,
Yeah.
The second time when I went back, the judge, I had 6 months left on my probation for me to be able to be done with it and get out, And I figured, what's the worst thing can happen? They're going to revoke me. I sit in county. They're not going to send me up to go kill my number, because it's just 6 months, 6 weeks to the door. Well, the cruel reality hit me when sentencing came, and they went ahead and enhanced me. Like, I didn't even pick up any charges or anything, but they enhanced me on my probation violations, which is unheard of. Like, I wasn't a habitual offender the first time, but the second time they enhanced me. Oops, sorry, that's my cat. And it went. I went straight to the 4-year enhancement. So it was like the 4 years, like, pretty much day for day. Because with habitual time, you don't get good time. And I didn't understand that. So I I still figured, I'll be in and out. I'll be back in no time, like two years, because I already have time served. Like, it's cool, what I mean? No, like, reality hit when the first year went by, the second, the third, and the fourth, But when the judge told me that, I was just like stuck. Like, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And I tend to like laugh and giggle a lot when I'm nervous or whatever. So he thought I was joking.
Oh my gosh, it went out. Oh my gosh, she went out. I have that same habit. I laugh when I'm nervous, and then people are like, my friends are, you should be laughing at that. I have a nervous habit of laughing. It's a weird thing. You wouldn't know unless it happens to you, but when I'm scared or like, I laugh or nervous, it's weird. Oh, I don't know what happened to Daisy. She maybe her thing was this dog wants to be right on my lap, and I'm all wearing my black pants. I can't give you one of these. I'm sorry. ¿Qué pasa con Daisy? Daisy. I thought it was just talk. She was talking fast, but I think it was messing up. Come on, Daisy, come back on. Is it 19 days till Christmas? Do you know? Well, because I'm trying to put my little guy. I'm trying to put him. What happened to Daisy? What happened to Daisy, dude? Did she just... Maybe her phone died? I don't know. Let's wait. Man. There we go. I think it's 19. I'm not positive, though. I'm trying to make me an intro for my podcast, but I've been so busy. I don't have a lot of time. I have this one too. Oh, there she is. There she is. No, she wasn't backstage. She is now, though.
I'm back. I'm so
Hi,
sorry.
baby.
Hi, I'm sorry. My phone
It's
cut
okay.
off.
It's okay.
I guess my cat disconnected.
It's okay. I figured when you didn't come back right away, I said her phone probably died. No, just kidding.
Yeah, it actually did. Because I was playing those online slots all day. So yeah. So
I'm tired
yeah.
of playing online slots. I like to play the what is it called? It's like solitaire, and then there's another one like bubble balls or something, bubble buzz or something like that.
No, I actually play for money. Like I actually never was interested in gambling, but this time they introduced me to this and I've been winning, so I've been playing, you know, and it's so addicting.
Good.
But it keeps me out of trouble. It is so addicting. I already have a very addicting personality. So if anything of too much will become an addiction. So,
right?
You know, I got to keep, yes. But anyways, what was I saying? Okay, so I was back at the judge.
You know what? I needed to go back because I skipped one question. I was supposed to ask you before the judge question. I was supposed to ask you, what was your lifestyle like before you caught your charges? So that people know, so that then we'll transition into the judge after that.
Okay. So basically I had a normal life like everybody else. I worked and I got married and I moved to New Mexico because I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California, you know. So I went from the city to a small little town. So of course it was kind of boring to me, you know. So I started experimenting with different things, substances, and like I said, I have an addictive personality, so a little bit of too much will definitely become an addiction. So I started using meth, and I started catching possession charges, and I never really thought like I would hear situations like you need to slow down, you're gonna catch habitual time, you're gonna do this. That won't happen to me. Like, no, I got this. You know what I mean? And they ended up. That's what happened. All my convictions were all drug related, and they were basically all possessions. You know, but I went from being your all-star mom, from like I was at home, I was married, I had little babies, I had kids, and slowly but surely, I just started getting sucked into like the darker side of like the addiction. You know, I started off as a little white collar crime, and from there it just escalated quickly. And notation actually was that I didn't start using drugs till I was 25 years old. So I had a typical Mexican pretty much family. I grew up in there, traditional, like we don't do stuff like that, you know, very respectful, very Catholic inclined. So that was unheard of in my family. So I was, of course, I was the first one to break the ice with all that. And it brought a lot of knowledge and understanding to that whole lifestyle because we were sheltered growing up. Our parents gave us everything. You know what I mean? My dad worked 2 jobs. My mom stayed home and raised us all. And they did a great job. It was nothing they could have done different that could have changed the outcome of what I chose to do at 25 years old, you know? So pretty much within the last 10 years, that's what I had been battling, my addiction, you know? And it took for me to go to prison, 4 years, I believe. Yeah, it was 4.5 actually. And for me to completely just be like, I was free of it. Like, you know, I wasn't using in there. I would get in trouble for other things, not never for any drug use or anything like that. But yeah, so basically like that's what happened. That's what led me to get here and become a felon now, you know. But I mean, it's a blessing in disguise, I can say, because I was set straight after that. Like I didn't come home with the typical urges that I had before. I mean, after so long, it seemed like my brain probably reset itself to where it was not no longer something that I had to do every single day, or I wasn't bored anymore because I stayed active. I was involved, whether it was in sports or fights or whatever it was, but I stayed busy. I stayed busy, and like I said, it was a life altering experience for sure. But I can honestly say, in my case particularly, I feel like it was for the better. I had to go through that rough moment in my life in order for me to come home and value the small things that we go without in there, and how much we struggle to even make a phone call. You know what I mean? The lines and the fights. Like I would literally have to fight with people for the phone. You know what I mean? And it's just, those are all
Remember when you,
privileges.
yeah,
Yeah, like those were all privileges that we take for granted. The small things that
the
we don't
fresh
appreciate.
air, like,
Yes,
little
just the
things.
freedom, just the freedom to wake up and just be able to go outside if you want to, or smoke a cigarette and drink some coffee if you want to, or just lounge around and not have somebody calling you on the speaker, or not have mental health come looking for you.
Make your
Like they,
bed, or your bed has to be made at a certain time, or
yeah,
the pod's gonna get locked down. And
yes,
I feel
but
like I was gonna ask you, because there
yeah,
was a lot of more structure at CCA. How do
definitely.
you feel the facilities, like programming wise and running wise? How do you rate the facilities like CCA, Springer, and
CCA.
Western? Well, because you've been to all of them.
Yeah, but considering, we're gonna go ahead and take this in consideration, that I was doing time when we were having that whole COVID outbreak. So
Oh
a lot of
yes.
a lot of programs, educational, whatever, just like activities, different activities and stuff like that, fundraisers or whatever, we got restricted from. So basically at CCA, it was great. Like I didn't mind it at all. I was sheltered. I kept my circle small, and I was fine with it. You know what I mean? But as far as programming, CCA definitely took the cake. Like CCA had more options. It definitely had more personnel. It seemed like they were more involved with the inmates, but they were more like by the book, more like structure. There was more structure. And
Yeah.
at Western, it seems like every CO does what they want, how they want to do it. They discipline based on their own judgment. There's I've seen it. There's inmates that do very little, minimal, and they get a write up. When you have other people that do just the most on a regular, and they get slaps on the hand, or you know what I mean. So it's like unfair, I should say. It's not equal like it was at CCA. And I don't know
Yeah.
if it's because it was a private facility where they had to follow a specific curriculum and standard procedures, or what, but it was definitely more structured at CCA, from doing your laundry to like everything,
The
because
beds, even making your beds.
everything.
Well, because
Hmm.
what I remember when I first was locked up, like one of
Hmm.
the most important things is your bed has to be made at a certain time, like
Yes.
at 8 o'clock, or
Hmm.
nobody and everybody's bed. I don't care if
Yeah.
they're a pod porter and they're
Hmm.
asleep in the bed. The bed
Hmm.
has to be made. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And at
Yep.
Springer, they never followed those rules. You could walk in at any time at 8 o'clock, and
And people are
there's
asleep,
people at 3 o'clock, like they're all wear
walking
pod porters.
around.
It don't matter. You
Yep.
get paid, like, I don't know. And I'm not a cop. I'm just saying, because I don't.
But that's
This
what I'm
is how
saying. It's
people
the
people don't come
structure.
out and aren't able to program, because there's not a certain standard in there like the way there
Yeah.
was at CCA. That's what
Because
I'm talking
yeah,
about.
yeah, it's just a structure. And like what I go back to saying is a lot of things. I feel like a lot of the COs were young. When it compares to the ones at CCA, it seemed like they were all middle aged, or a little bit on the like my parents kind of age. So they, of course, they're going to be respected more. But me personally, I have a problem with authority, period. Like and I always feel like I can do what I want, whatever. So if they tell me to do something, I'm gonna give them a hard time, just for the
Yeah.
simple fact that it was an order. Instead of they
Yeah.
asking me, they ask me, I'm gonna gladly do it.
Yeah.
It's just how they
Yeah.
talk to me. So
Yeah.
when you have somebody that's 21 or 22 trying to tell me what to do, when I'm in my mid 30s, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a problem with it. So
Yeah.
but then at the same time, that's probably their first job, fresh out of high school. They've never been walked a day in our shoes. They don't know what it is. So to them, they want to be cool. They're either like really cool, so they become pushovers, and we just run the pod, by inmates run the pod, or they're
Or
just
they're
like
so
really,
strict.
yes, because there's no in
There's no
between. Like they
balance.
don't,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
there's none. So either they're really, really nice, or they're just like straight dicks. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
that's what we have encountered a lot. A lot of ego clashing. Like they don't work together. Everybody wants to be the honcho. You know what I mean? And
In
yeah.
in
And then
my
of course
whole
us.
experience, I feel like a lot of the officers that go into corrections, and I don't, maybe this is just my opinion, I feel like a lot of the guys, they've been picked on,
Yes.
and because they're trying to go somewhere where they can tell people what to
What to
do,
do? Mhm.
and like it's just, it doesn't work, and it's an unhealthy balance because
It's
some
a
of them.
power trip. It's what makes them feel accomplished if they have some kind of control, so they don't know how to balance it. You know what I mean? They want to talk to us shitty. Like the way they talk to us is, to me, it was so unprofessional. Like
Yeah,
you guys are COs. You guys are supposed to be setting the example. You guys are supposed to be like, like pretty much like what you, like, how can I say it? Like if you want something to be done a certain way, then you do it yourself. You want
yeah,
respect? Well, talk to me with respect and you're gonna get
yeah,
it. You know,
yeah,
you want to talk to me shitty and call me out of my name and just, like get up from there and do this and do that. Like, of course you're gonna get a reaction from me. Like I
yeah.
said, but if you ask me like, hey, Gonzalez, it's time for you to get off your make your bunk. Oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, I overslept. But if you go over there and you start kicking my bunk, like, get up, yeah, dude, I'm getting it.
Well,
I'm
the
getting
ones
pop
that
off.
kick your bunks are the worst ones, man.
Yeah.
I used to have this CO,
Springer was
and I
notorious for that.
who? Peepers? No.
No, no, no. Oh my God. Oh, yes. Okay, we share
No,
the same
well,
last name.
Peepers, he used to act so weird with me, and he one time
He's a
he was
weirdo.
all kicking my bed because I was asleep, and I'm
Hmm.
like trying to wake me up, and I'm like, dude, what? Like, this
You
is
know,
crazy, man.
that's one thing. That's
And so an inmate seen him. An inmate reported it because she seen him kicking my bed to
yeah.
get up, and I'm like,
Hmm.
wow, this is just crazy. But
It's just uncalled for. Just uncalled for. And a lot of them, I feel like they have problems at home because they're forced to work so many hours and long shifts and stuff like that. So of course, it eventually takes a toll. Like I'm a pretty open-minded person, so I try to put myself in their situations and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
But they come to work so angry and mad. It's like they hate their job, you know?
yeah,
So of course they don't take pride in their job. Like they just want to
right,
come in and like treat us like animals. And yeah,
yeah.
we are convicts. Yeah, we've made mistakes. We are felons. We're convicted felons. But that doesn't mean we don't have to be treated as humans. Like we're not animals. You know what I mean? We do still have rights, and everybody should be treated equally, whether we're felons or not. Like that's not something that should define the person. That's what I feel like, because I feel like it's a very thin line where it goes from them judging us. It is like we've already been convicted. That's why we're here. Like, why are you continuing to judge me based on my charges or why I'm here?
Yeah,
That's not for you to judge me anymore. You're just here to maintain peace and order, which they, I don't think they were structured enough to do that.
there's very rarely one, like hardly any times that they don't judge people. I feel like they judge everybody. They know our
They do.
crimes. They know, do you know what I mean? They,
Yeah.
especially people with baby crimes. Like
Yes.
I've done a lot of podcasts, and I've a lot of awful things have come up, like from
Hmm.
CCA, how they, whenever the Victoria Martins, the mom went over
Yes.
there, they
Hmm.
slammed her down, and they weren't showering her, and
Yeah.
like, I have a thing about all that too. I don't associate,
Hmm.
like I won't even sit with people, but I
Yeah.
their
Politics.
crime is no different than my crime though. Like
No,
they shouldn't be treated any different. That's like, you know what I mean? And
they
I,
shouldn't, but they do, and
yeah,
it's something that we have to be able to bite our tongue about.
yeah,
And for some reason, at first, it would really bother me when I would see them, because dude, they would try to pick on me all the time. You know what I mean? And
they,
it was something that it was just like. either you snap at it or you just shut up, and they'll get tired of it eventually one day, you know. And that's kind of what happened. They grew out of my little stage, and it was fine. I knew what I was, I knew why I was there, and I knew what I do and what I don't do. So at this point, there people are, how can I say, they're cruel. They could be very cruel and mean, especially for rookie inmates going in there the first time, you know. But it became normal after a while to see somebody being rude or ugly to
Or
people that
even
are
just
there based
hateful
on
or
their
ugly.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Based, when in reality they're not even from the same town. This is all hearsay stories that they hear, you know.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I'm a big believer of, you know what, as long as I'm good with, like, with God, and you know, I already, you know, did whatever I had to do, and I'm good, then that should be it. It should stop there. Like, I don't judge anybody, and I'm the friendly kind of inmate, you know. But don't piss me off, because then that's a whole different story.
Oh
But
yeah.
like, you know, and the first time you didn't see that side of me. The second time, oh, it shined through the minute I walked through those doors. I said, I'm here for a long time, and I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna deal with it. You know what I mean? I'm not. And I was angry because I felt like the judge picked on me for no reason, just because I was nervous and I started giggling in the courtroom, and he thought I was being disrespectful, and he enhanced me. Like, I felt like he really enhanced me to make an example out of me, you know.
Oh,
But
I was when you got off, I was like, and you, nobody knows that really nervous laugh or whatever.
mhm.
I have that for fear. My friend's like,
Yeah.
that's not something you should be laughing at. Well, because if
Yes.
something really like ugly or crazy happens, I feel like I don't really know how to react in a remorseful way. And I'm
Hmm.
not trying to laugh at the situation. It's a nervous laugh. It's a
It
horrible
really
habit that I
is.
have, and I had to
Hmm.
control it a lot when I was in trial, because that's something that, like, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you it just happens though sometimes, and I agree with you that he probably did just enhance you because of that. You know what I
It's
mean?
something, it's something that at the same, you have no control over. It's like
You don't.
your whole
You
nervous
don't.
system just does whatever it wants. Like, it's like, I just can't stop laughing, and at the same time I was just like appalled, like, are you serious? Like, can he do
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Like,
Like
you
what?
know.
Yeah.
And I'm just like thinking I have it made. I'm gonna get out, or I'm gonna do my 6 weeks and I'm gone. You know what I mean? Because I had a paid attorney and everything. But you know what? It comes down to the fact that, you know, a lot of people, we don't educate ourselves about our laws and what it is that we're signing. A lot of times we're just so happy that we're getting released, and we're just signing, signing, signing. Well, within one of those papers, nobody explained to me that I was signing for a habitual offender acknowledgement, which
Oh my
was, if I picked up another charge in the same type of charge, you know, that I was going to be enhanced.
God.
And I was unaware of that until they actually pulled it up in the courtroom and showed it to me. And then they said, well, you signed, that's your signature.
You're all what? Oh my God.
And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I was, who's your lawyer? I said, well, I was being represented by the state. I had a public defender. You know what I mean? So the second time I paid like 3-4 racks for a private attorney, but it did me no justice because I had already signed for my habitual offender the prior time, and nobody explained to me what I was signing. They're like, oh, you're being released, reinstated, blah, blah. I'm just signing. Hell yeah, I'm going home. I'll see y'all later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it came to bite me in the ass pretty much. But, you
Oh
know,
wow.
yeah, so back to answering that, I was in shock, disbelief, like, this isn't happening to me, they're lying, especially because the girl that went up before me, she was there for absconding, and she absconded for 8 months. I absconded for 30 days, I think, and she absconded for 8 months. And they went ahead and let her out that same day and discharged her, gave her an unsatisfactory discharge. And I was like, oh, okay, they did her. She's gonna go home. I'm here for the
Girl,
same thing.
yes. Hey,
I'm here for
and
the same
usually,
thing.
listen, usually the judge follows whatever he does that like for most of
Not
the
me.
cases.
Not me.
Oh.
Not me. Okay. It was just, I just feel like I was so like, I wasn't treated fairly. You know what I mean? And I was like, why is that? Is it because of the reaction that I had when he said he was going to go ahead and enhance me? Or was it because, what made me any different than this other girl? Is it because this girl she was a white girl? Or was it because I'm Mexican? Like, so many thoughts went through my head. So of course I was kind of like in shock. You know what I mean? So I was giggling like, are you serious? He could do that to me? Like, oh my God. Like, And at the same time, it's a slap to your ego. You know what I mean? Because you're standing there like, oh yeah, you got this, and then all of a sudden you're just broken down, like, and you're like, you're gonna send me to prison? Like, I'm not even that bad of a person. Like, what do you mean? I just have an addiction. I need help. Send me back to rehab. Like, why is prison gonna be the solution for me? I have an addiction. Obviously, I can't stop. I need help. And for years I was just like, this is crazy, and I'm like, they just want me to go work for 20 cents an hour for 4 years. Like, this is crazy. They're just, it's extortion. You know what I mean? I was just like, so I'm sure all those questions and all them fears that I was thinking and going through at the time reflected on my persona, and they came across the wrong way. You know what I mean? So I feel like he really just picked on me either way, but whatever. But I mean, I'm like, I can honestly say thank you, because I'm a better person than I was like 5 years or 6 years ago, because I've been out of prison for 2 years now, going on 3. And
That's good. That's
I'm
really
at, yeah,
good.
my
Can
out
you
date
tell
was
me, Daisy, can you tell me, I don't know if you remember, can you remember your intake process at CCA? Who intook you? Was it Yazi? You remember Yazi?
Yazi. Yes.
I'm all, hey, I'm all, well, because I'm sure she was like right in your,
Well, let me tell you, I was gonna say, how can I describe my intake? Highly favorable, I should say. Okay, I'm just gonna say it,
it's
favorable.
because
Okay.
you're cute, Daisy. The people who
Oh,
are
thank you.
cuter,
But
because Yazi, she's a
she was
bush.
mean.
A
She
bush.
was like a badass, you know what I mean? And I was like, this is crazy. Like, I've never really even, because here in New Mexico, we're
Scary.
more like in the southern eastern, area. So we don't have a lot of like native people here or whatever. So that alone was, to me, it was just different. You know what I mean? And I was very intrigued by the whole nation, like the whole, just native nation, period, and I just thought they were cool, and she was a badass. So I was scared. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know my little knees were knocking for sure. You know what I mean? But like I said, I seen the first girl go through there, and she was just like, just doing her in. You know what I mean? This girl came out crying and some more stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm not ready to go. You go next, And it was 3 of us that pulled chain, so I said, you go next. So the second one came, and the second one, she was kind of like a little badass. You know what I mean? And she was just like, oh my god, bro, like, she came out literally in tears herself. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I'm going down. I'm so gullible, I'm nice, I'm friendly, like, I'm gonna giggle and she's gonna think I'm making fun of her, like, she's gonna tear me apart. But actually it went pretty smooth. I got new uniforms. I got good stuff. I'm not gonna lie, like, highly favorable, like I said. So I
Yeah,
mean,
because yeah, it just like I feel like it's a hit or miss with Yazi. You don't never.
yes.
Some person told me that when they were doing her fingerprints, she
Uh-huh.
literally elbowed her because she wasn't going fast enough. And I was like,
Hmm.
I could see Yazi doing that. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not like, like, I'm not even
Yeah.
gonna lie. I could just see Yazi just like, hurry up, you know what I mean?
Yep. Yes. But at the same time, like, that's just it. Like, Yazi was very,
She's
very,
just
like,
scary
predictable.
looking though.
Yes,
Like,
she was.
imagine hitting the pinta. You're hitting the pinta for the first time
Yeah.
and you're seeing this butch like guard and she's just like, oh, you know what I mean? It's
And
just a
she
scary
was mean and talked really rough. And she was like, hey, get over here, get on the wall, look at the wall. Like, she was screaming the whole time. So I was like, oh my
don't
God,
move. Yeah, like she's
look at the
very
bricks. He
intimidating.
like, look at the bricks and absorb every single moment of this, because your life's fixing to change. And I'm like, oh my God, bro, like, this is serious. Like, this is really going down right now. Like, but I mean, and I'm like very, like, like I said, I'm very friendly. I've never ever tried to portray myself as being a badass or being somebody that, but like, I can handle my own. But I'm saying, like, I never came across being a bully. I don't like bullies, period. I have a daughter with special needs, and like, that opens my own. I'm very open-minded and very careful about stuff like that, or even making other people feel some type of way. I always try to be very neutral. I'm very easygoing. Like, I'm a very easygoing person, so sometimes I don't even understand why I would even have conflict with some of the girls I did, but it's okay. You know what I mean? It is
You
what it
want
is.
to talk about any acts of violence that you've seen or maybe you were a part of? No, I'm just kidding.
Actually, you know what? I really didn't see much. Like the first time around, like I said, you lived with me in the pod. We were in F2. I was very sheltered. Like, I stayed to myself. I did my time. Remember that little mission you put me on, or we put
Which
ourselves
one?
on,
I
to go to
don't
mental
remember.
health? Remember? And then I was like, oh yeah, it's easy. Just go mental health and blah blah blah. And they're gonna give you some like anxiety pain pills
Oh
or
my
whatever, and we're gonna be great. We're gonna be set. I'm like, okay, cool. Dude, I couldn't get them off my back after that. Like, I gotta say, CCA had the best mental
Daisy,
health
going
people.
all the way to mental.
Remember, they would come looking for me, like, and I was like, dude, I'm perfect. I'm fine. Like, they would come
They're
in
all
with like the whole
Daisy
squad.
Gonzalez. You have an
Yes,
appointment with mental.
over the PA. Like, are you
Yeah.
serious? Like, when do you even
We're
have?
all mental health looking for you, Daisy.
And I was like, again, like, I remember I started hiding from them. Like, bro, I need to be released from mental health. Like, I don't need all
You're all
this.
missing your appointments.
Yeah, because I didn't like, like, I didn't want to anymore. I thought it was optional, but little that goes to educating yourself. I didn't think that it was like, it became to like, you don't have an option. You have to come. And I'm like, well, I don't want to come anymore. Like, people are looking at me like I'm a loony. And in our reality, it kind of just started like as shits and giggles, you know what I mean? But it turned into like a real life situation.
We're all trying to go to mental health so we could get out of work. No, I'm just kidding.
Just anything. We used to use mental health for everything. And see, the first
I'm
the
on
first
voice
time,
mental health. I don't feel good today.
yeah, like, I don't feel like
No, I'm just
programming.
kidding.
I need to go to mental health. Can I have a mental health slip? Like, and next
Oh
thing you
my
know, you
God.
miss their
I think I lived
appointment.
in mental health for the first
Oh,
6 months of my stay. No, I'm
yes.
just kidding.
I don't know, but they were haunting me down. Like, I never even went on a one-on-one or nothing. Like, they just thought, like, I don't know
Oh,
what they
one-on-one.
thought. I
Here,
said,
Daisy.
dang. I said,
Hey,
my
Daisy.
huh?
I want you to tell a little bit about what happened with the MP3 player. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, that was a perfect example of somebody trying to bully me and take advantage
So
of my kindness.
this is right here what we're going to talk about right now. This is a prime example of someone coming in who's young. They don't
Mm-hmm.
know the ropes a little bit, and someone an older person knowing the ropes, trying to take advantage of them. But because
Yes.
Daisy's a good person and she has good
Mm-hmm.
friends looking out for her, it came out in her favor. So
Very
yeah,
highly favored. I mean, I even came up with some shoes on top of that. So
I know.
it
Remember,
yeah.
they were
And you
gonna
know
beat
who?
her up. No, just kidding.
Yeah. I mean, and I was like, you know what? I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna give him back. I'm gonna go home anyways. They're like, no, you're not. You're not gonna give him back.
You're
Like
not
that.
getting it back.
Yeah,
You're
you're
not.
not. And it defeats the purpose. Why did we do all this for? You know what I mean? And like, the lady literally lived. Was she my bunkie or did she live like next door?
I think she was your bunkie, but she lived with. I lived right here,
And
and
I lived
she
on
lived.
top.
And I'm almost positive you were her bunkie. Yeah,
Yes,
and
and
that's
I was
even
on top.
worse because when you have a bunkie, you're supposed to look out for them. Like
Oh,
you
she
guys
looked
live
out for me. Like,
together.
she looked out for me.
She
Okay,
looked
you know
out
what I
for
mean?
you.
Yeah, she was juicing me in the process. Like, bro, come on now. Like, she even let me share her commissary box, and I said, "Oh, that's nice. That way I don't have to leave my stuff out here, bro." For real, I might as well just donated it to the charity because, like, I wasn't ever, I would have to sit here and wait for her to get home to unlock her box so that I could make me some coffee. Like, it was my groceries, and she was like,
I know.
"We're running low on this now. Like, we're running low on this." Like, girl, like, I
I
work in
don't
the
even get to
kitchen.
eat out of the box because it's not even open. No, I'm just
Yes,
kidding.
but see, that just goes to how young and gullible I was at the time because it was my first rodeo, and yeah. Well, anyway, she sold me this iPod for, I believe she said, $80 or something. You know what I mean? So everybody likes MP3s. It was the thing to have at the time. So I didn't have a problem. I had to just call home and set up some things, and that's it. There you go. Well, I did that. Oh, I don't even know how many times I ended up paying for that thing because she kept like just giving me lists every week and every week, and finally I'm like, God, I could have sworn I was done paying for that like last month. Like, you know
I
what I mean?
swear I thought you paid like $200 and it was only 80. And I'm like,
I
Daisy,
know,
I
and
think
and,
she's
and she was
burning you.
good.
I'm like,
Over and over. And then she said, here, I'm going to give you these shoes and blah, blah, blah. And just, whatever, help me out. Well, she gave me a whole list for that too. And I said, how the hell you, like, they don't even fit me. They're like a whole size bigger than me. Like, like, it's cool. Like, I could wear my little Crocs. I don't care. You know what I mean? But, or I could have ordered my own shoes, but I didn't because she was too busy milking me. You know what I mean? And I didn't care. I didn't want to have problems with nobody. And it was just like, to me, it was just money type thing because I had a good support system at home. But it was just horrible until finally, like, I snapped. I started getting more confidence in myself. I started sticking up for myself. And like, I just started snapping, like, and she tried to raise her voice. And I said, okay, like, I was just fed up with her. I was sick of her. Like, you know, and I had to live with her the whole time I was there too. They would never move me. Like, godly, like, if it was a punishment, like, why do I always get the shitty monkeys? Like, why? You know what I mean? But I made it happen. And I remember after a while, I was like, you know what? Like, F this girl. Like, I don't know if she's miserable. That's not my problem. And I try to help her, and she tried to take advantage. And that's one thing that I am big on. Like, don't take advantage of me, because you'll get a whole lot further in life with me if you were just cool, and if you just ask me, you know what I mean? Instead of trying to punk your way through life. Like, eventually I'm going to snap. And I snapped. I did. Because I never really paid for her shoes or whatever. But
We found out, do you remember we found out that she was trying to sell the MP3 player to someone else in G Unit, remember?
yes, she was, because okay, so check
How
this out. So
many times did she get paid for that MP3
I
player?
don't know. I heard down the bit, like, people would tell me, like, "Oh, you're buying that from her too? What do you mean? I thought Homegirl was paying for it." She had like 3 or 4 of us thinking we was gonna get the prize. We were gonna get the MP3. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I don't even know what happened with the MP3. Like, I think
You got it. You got it, and you got the shoes because
and I gave it. I
Vanessa.
gave it to
Don't
somebody
you
else.
remember Vanessa was gonna take it from her? Vanessa laced
Yes.
up and everything. Vanessa was
Yes.
crazy. Vanessa
Yeah.
was crazy. I
Yeah. But
used to like
remember,
Vanessa. I
but
loved
see,
living in that pod because people in the pod, we take care of each other. You know what I mean? And we look
yeah,
out
but
for each other.
remember at first they didn't swallow me. They didn't like me. I was the girl from California. Remember, like, I was just, where'd she come from? Who is she? And, like, like, I was like, I am not the mole of the freaking
It was
pod, bro.
crazy too because you came in with Lala, and Lala and you were really good partner friends, and then
She
it
switched.
changed. She changed too, but that's what happens. Like,
But
people have to, like,
and it's okay, because she was welcoming to the point where I was kind of like, I was made to walk on my own. Like, and I was in baby. Like, at first she kind of, it was kind of like she was baby me. So she's like, no, like, you're not, like, I'm not gonna be. She handled up on a few things for me at first, and
I
you
think
know
I think she did that for a reason, like, to, like, a
yeah.
mom type, because
And
she
she told
wanted
me,
you to stand on your own 2 feet.
she
Yeah.
wanted me to get my backbone. And you know what? Like, okay, like, look, I already did this for you for so long, and you're not. People are looking at you as a punk now. You gotta walk your own walk. And I'm like, well, I could care less. What I don't care. I don't. Whatever. She's like, no, that's not it though. We're in prison, and I can't fight your battles for you. I can't tell people to be quiet when they're saying something mean to you. You have to do it. And I'm like, but it doesn't even bother me. Like, I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine. It's okay. And she's like, no, it's not okay, because when I see this shit going on, I'm getting pissed off, and I'm gonna pick up a freaking write up, because you ain't standing on your own 2 feet, and you need to stand on your own 2 feet. So, it was, like I said, everything is happens for a reason the way it did. But at first I was so hurt with Lala, because I was like, but Lala, you're my
I know you
friend.
were, because that happens, like, what, you guys come in together, and even when she left and went to G Unit, remember she moved out and she went to G Unit, and I
Uh-huh.
remember you were so
I
sad,
was
well, because she
sad
was
because
your
I was my
best
little
friend, and
friend.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Like, I confided in her about a lot of things like that. I like, she gave me security. I felt like I was, as long as Lala was around, I was
Well,
cool.
because
We were
she has
okay.
a lot of friends too, like Lala's been
Yeah.
there before.
Yeah.
That's
And,
not
like,
her first rodeo.
we all know how it is to be the third wheel, and it's not always a good feeling, but at the same time, it was I was okay with it, because it was giving me that sense of security and, like, protection, or whatever the hell I was on my trip on. And she made me grow. It was definitely a growing point in my whole incarceration process. And I came out just being different. You know what I mean? It didn't break me, that's for sure, but it just made me stronger. But the next time, the second rodeo, there people are looking at me like, whoa, bro, you was not like this before. I remember when Daisy used to be nice. I said, what do you mean I am nice? I just don't deal with fuckery anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not. Like, I've been through so much. I've done too much for people for that, allow them to walk over me. And the second time, my first fight ever in prison, I ended up fighting. Oh, and I love her to death now. We're like best friends. Like, I still talk to her. She calls me and stuff like that. Was with sister. And look
What?
at
You
how
fought
petite.
sister?
Yes, she was my celly,
What?
and, like,
Oh my God, you're crazy. No, I'm
I
just
didn't.
kidding.
It was her. I guess, I don't know. I don't judge her or nothing, but like, I was already angry because I felt like I got did in wrong by the state. They enhanced me on probation violations. People are sitting there talking like, oh, well, this is my ninth PV, and I'm like, what the hell? And you didn't get enhanced? Like, oh no, I just got revoked. I'm in City County. Man, I was pissed, bro. I was like, what do you mean? This is my third one, and I got revoked, and they're sending me
And
to
the
prison,
book
and
thrown
they
at
enhanced
you?
me. Huh?
They threw the book at you.
Yeah, and they enhanced me, and they're like, damn. You know, and to this day, I really haven't seen anybody from my county go up there on the same charge. So I'm like, you guys didn't get enhanced? They're like, no. Like, that is so crazy. But this is like your ridiculous freaking 19th time or something. Like, oh, I gave them like 18 dirty UAs before they locked me up. I said, dude, that couldn't be me. Like, my first UA, vámonos. You know what I mean? Like, and that's really what it was. Like, so I was angry. So I went in there angrier. So I'm sure I had more of a little sassy little attitude, or just angry. But I was angry. I was hurt with life at that time, you know. And I guess I was being rude or disrespectful to her. And, you know, sister, everybody that knows sister, she don't play. You know what I mean? Sister from Roswell, and, you know, she's a lifer. So of course she's gonna maintain her level of respect. And at this point, she don't even ask for
You
it. She
don't even,
demands
yeah.
it. Because that's her home. You know what I mean? This
Well,
is
yeah.
That's where she's gonna be.
It's not, yeah.
And she's all, here you are, this little, we talk about it now, we laugh about it. She's like, here you are, the little badass coming in, and a little attitude and just throwing stuff around. And I'm looking at you like, hey, kick back, you know. And I'm like, yeah, I appreciate it, whatever the hell, you know. She was cool. She looked out for me at first and whatever. But it was just me. I was angry and I was being rude to her, and I never thought she would do that. You know what I mean? But then again, I totally forgot that she's a lifer. Like, who cares? You know, she got nothing to lose. So yeah, I think I was rude to her, and she charged me, and I was like, oh, that's it, I'm going down, I'm dead, RIP. You know what I mean? But I had to fight back, and, you know, like she said, you gave me good run for my money, I'll give you that much. You know what I mean? And I was like, hell yeah. But we're good friends now. So ever since then, I feel like people were looking at me like, hey, she ain't a punk, she squared up with sister. And you know, it wasn't
Well,
easy for
yeah.
sister to do her thing. So from there on, I feel like I got a little bit more respect because of that particular incident or whatever. But yeah, people didn't take me as a pushover anymore. But
Aw.
let me see your Christmas tree. I want to see your Christmas tree. Ooh, that's pretty. I like
I'm
that.
gonna make some more bows, and I'm making some
You're so
like
creative. I
Candyland
hate
ice creams, and
I hate
some more
all y'all
stuff like
creative
these.
people. Yes, I know. I hate all your creative people because I am not
I'm
creative
making,
at all. I can't even color
it's
a candy cane.
easy. Well, I was watching YouTube to find out what was the easiest stuff to make. So I'm gonna make me some cotton candies. Have you seen the little cotton candy swirls? I'm gonna make me some for my tree. You make them
See
out of
what I mean?
yarn. It's really
See?
really simple.
Yeah. So that it's cool.
Make
Like I
some
said,
ice cream.
I'm not creative at all. I can't sit still long enough. I think that's my problem. I'm a squirrel. I didn't get that nickname for no
Yeah,
reason.
my squirrel.
Yes.
That was Daisy all the time.
Yep.
Squirrel.
Because I'm not, I'm just easily distracted, but it's just part of life, I think. So it's not even weird to me that I'm so easily distracted, because it's ADHD, you know. That's just what it is. But you
Yeah.
know, so but I was down for the cause though. 99% of the time I was down for the cause. Probably a little, people didn't expect it to be that, you know, for me to be that down with the cause for the majority of part. So when they see me execute something, but dude, I can do it. I'll go underneath all these bunks and go get it and come right back. Remember when I did that? And I sure did. I went all the way to Vanessa's freaking bunk and crawled through everybody's
I
freaking bunk.
know it. And how did the cameras not see you? Remember?
Right? And we were on bunk restriction too. We couldn't even get out. Like,
Man,
and
we used to be in trouble. Do you remember when we hid all our stuff in that thing and they
yes,
raided us and took all our shit? I
yes.
still am violated behind all that. No, I'm just kidding.
Really? No.
I know.
Oh, I know. They did take a lot of our stuff, but you know what? A lot of the stuff was say like salvaged. Like a lot of it
Yeah.
didn't get caught up in the movement.
Yeah.
But yeah, it that sucks. To me, it sucks because we gotta work so hard to even have some kind of ends, and not everybody has a good support system at home or anything like that where they can just call in for money and get it. You know, so a lot of us really do live on our little state issue, whatever checks that we get, or we're waiting for our state pay to get our necessaries for the month. And it's hard. And then for them just to come just take everything from us, like that's pretty shitty. You know, I don't even understand why they do that. But I mean, and then they took us all out, remember, to go throw all the trash from the lockdown and stuff. And I was like, oh, there's somebody's baby. I'm all bringing it back home, like I found somebody's kid, you know what I mean? And I don't know whose kid I ended up bringing back home, but they're like, "Oh my God, that's my wife." So, well, here you go. There you go. Merry Christmas. And so it was cool. They're like, "How'd you sneak that back? That's crazy. You were out there working with I don't know who, Candlelight, like the strict ones." I was like, "I don't know. I'm friendly, so they never even thought I would be the one to do it." When I was coming back loaded, girl, I was volunteering to go help them clean up because I wanted to come bring back more
Daisy's
stuff.
all, can I just go dump the trash? No, just kidding.
Yeah. And they're like, "Yeah, come on, Gonzalez." I'm like, "Not today, dude. Come on." I said, "Dude, we ain't even got no more of the freaking lockdown stuff out there. Like, I don't want to go. I was just going for like the good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely an experience. And if I would be able to, if I had a choice to change it, I wouldn't, because I feel like I grew up a lot. Those 4 years is like from the beginning of me just getting in trouble, period. It has definitely made me a better person. I make better choices now than I did 6 years ago, for sure, for sure, for sure. you
If
know?
you could give a message to somebody that's coming out of prison, or somebody who thinks like they just got out and that they can't make it, do you have a message for them? Because it's hard. It's really hard.
Yes.
And this is why we have this community. We're here for
Yeah.
each other. We're all here. Like Daisy's my sister. I'm always here
Yeah.
for her. And we're
Yeah.
always here for you guys. And that's
Yeah.
why we started this platform. But if you could give
Yes.
a message to somebody um that is maybe struggling, or even maybe your former self, I always
Yeah.
tell people that, because you maybe, if somebody would have gave us that message, maybe we wouldn't have done the things we did, or you know what I
Yeah.
mean, if somebody cared.
Yeah. You know what? I gotta say, this time around, I feel like it was the message being is, don't let anything or anybody discourage you from or take your focus away from what it is that you want to accomplish in life. The simple fact that we have a number, and the simple fact that we are considered felons or whatever, does not dictate the rest of our lives. It might dictate for right there and then, when we're living through our consequence of what we did, our actions, but it shouldn't have that much power over our lives to judge us for the rest of our lives. Because we're still people. Like, we're still people, and we still have strive. And believe it or not everybody is against us like we think they are. Because we come out thinking like we're beefing constantly in there with the COs. You know what I mean? So we're already at war, constant. We're so defensive, like we're just so quick to snap and feel like everybody's judging us, when in reality, like, not everybody's doing that. Like, there's good people out here that believe in us, and you'll be surprised the people that do believe in us, and you're just like, what? I would have never thought like her. Like, damn, that's crazy. You know what I mean? So the fact that somebody, a total stranger, sees potential in you and sees that you actually have something to contribute to their company, to their job, to coaching a softball team out here, or just the fact that you're an asset to anything in life, is very motivating. But don't ever cut yourself short and think you can't do it. Oh, they won't. If you want to go work somewhere and you can make that job, you can do that job, and you can work. We're gonna work twice as hard, for the simple fact that we feel like we gotta prove ourselves. You know what I mean? So they're gonna love us, but sometimes we're just so scared to take that step, because nobody likes rejection. Nobody likes to feel rejected. Nobody likes to feel less of. You know what I mean? But reality is that we're just as equal, and we have the same abilities to do everything the same equally. So a lot of the times, it's not even people that cut us short. It's us. It's within us. Like, we just gotta know, I can do this, and you're gonna do it. A lot of times we're scared of rejection, and rejection is something that it's a horrible feeling. We've all felt rejection in our life, but all we can do is prove ourselves, because you know what, we did put ourselves in that situation. We did make horrible choices before, but people change. You know what I mean? People change. And prison was a life altering experience for me. And I finally realized, like, hell no, like, I don't want to be in prison when I could be out here. My kids need me, like, people need me. And, when I first got out of prison, I had a really bad mentality, where I was like, well, my kids are grown. My kids are fine. Look at them. They're big already. They don't need me. They done lived everything for 4 years perfectly fine without me, and they've survived. They're survivors. But you know what? I don't care how old we are, how old I am. I still need my mom. I still need my dad. So that was just my mentality cutting me short from me being and I'm still their mom at the end of the day. You know what I mean? They don't look at me like, oh, my mom went to jail, she's less of a mom. Like, I'm still their mom. Like, that's still my mom. You know what I mean? So it's like, just go for it. Just do it. And what's the worst that can happen? They're gonna tell you no. You know what I mean? And that's it. And if they tell you no, then go to the move on. Don't stay stuck there. Don't discourage yourself, because we are our worst critics. That I did learn that, and I've made it. Like, I've made it. It's accomplishable. People that know me on a personal level know I'm literally a shit stick. Like, I am. You know what I mean? But we got to get structured, and it starts with ourselves. You know, it starts with that. We have to believe in ourselves. You know, I can't expect you to believe in me when I can't even believe in myself. You know, so we gotta walk that walk. We gotta be confident, and we gotta believe, and everything's possible. Everything's possible. And I'm still in awe. Like, I'm going in 3 years that I've been out. You know, I killed my parole, flying colors. Like, I got an early discharge and everything, because I didn't have not one violation on. All you got to do is come out here, do what you got to do, get you a job, stay busy, and don't ever feel that you're too, like, oh, I'm good, like, I'm strong enough to be around people that are living day by day or every single day addiction, because in our reality, we're not strong. We're not, because we are fighting those urges. We are fighting those. I'm not going to sit here and say there's times where I want to go run and do it, because, hey, I'm going to go and do it, because that's just me. I'm a go-getter, and I'm going to go get it. If I want it, I'm going to get it. But bounce back from it. Don't feel like, oh, I already relapsed one time, I'm just going to keep doing it, because who cares? The PR already knows I'm going to go back anyways. Like, that's the wrong mentality. Like, you know, because pretty much just don't even try, you know. But if you fall, pick yourself up. It happens. It's part of the addiction. Like, we're going to have relapses. We wouldn't be an addict if we didn't have relapses. You know what I mean? And we're recovering. It's an illness. Like, it's something that our minds are forever altered due to the substances that we choose to introduce to our bodies at all times. So just don't discourage yourself. Like, we're not perfect. The fact that we're in a prison does not make us perfect citizens at all. If anything, it brings up more. Like, because now we're like, if I was rough around the edges, I'm rougher now, because now I know so much get down. Like, I'm like quick with the hands. I'm like, hey, we're just living on toes all the time, you know? So I could probably get a lot away with a lot of things, you know what I mean? But for what? Like, it's just such an easy, peaceful life to just do what you got to do and just be normal, you know, live like everybody else. It's accomplishable. Look at me. Like, I'm a habitual offender. Like, I'm you know, and you know, I go out there to the oil fields and work with men that make good money, you know, and females too. And when they look at me, they don't see a felon. They don't see a felon, because, hey, I'm not trying to allow them to see that. So we got to carry ourselves with, you know, just whatever it is that you want to do, we can do it. It's up to us. You know what I mean? That's what I believe. But you have to have a good support system as well. You have to have friends. I do believe in, like, community chats like these. I feel like like, who knows? Maybe one day somebody's gonna come across this and they're gonna be like, "What? Daisy made it? That's crazy! Like, that's crazy! Like, if she did it, I can do it." Because I was a shit stick. I mean, I probably still am, but I know how to pick and choose my battles now. I'm not gonna
I
go
think that
pistol.
you're gonna inspire someone with your words and something, because that's why we're doing this, to show people that they can make it, because people
They
think
can.
they come out and it's so hard. It's so
It
hard. And
is.
I'm
It
so
is.
proud of the lady you are. You're just
Thank
such a
you.
different person from
Yeah.
the Daisy that I met at CCA. And
Right.
I'm
Right.
very, yeah, I'm
I
very
was so weak. I was so weak and like weak and broken. And I was just like, but like I said, it took um, just having the right people come into my life at the right time. Like, when you came into my life, Rhiannon, and you're a blessing. And to me, you were just Rhiannon. You were my friend. You were my buddy. You were like, hey, I can't wait till she comes home so we can cook, or like just whatever, you know? And you were like my go-to person, you know? And I didn't look at why you were there. I didn't sit there and be like, oh, well, I can't hang out with her because this person don't like her. Like, I never ever had that mentality. You know what I mean? Because to me, you were just like, you're just another person to me. And I was able to look past all that. You know what I mean? And I got to know you on a personal level, and I love you. Like, you're like my buddy. You know what I mean? And no matter what, like, you know. And I didn't care to hear any of the gossip. I didn't care anything. It's like, hey, that's my friend. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's entitled to their own opinions, and that's that. But to me personally, on a personal level, you're a blessing. You're a great friend, and you're very motivating to me. You know, so I was like, that's my friend. Yay. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, she's home. And it was
I
just
freaked
like,
out when I seen you over there at CC at Springer because they were like Daisy's in well, because we hear everybody that's in RDC, we hear they're like, oh, so and so's coming, da 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 da,
yeah.
and I'm all, oh my god, they said Daisy's coming. I was all freaking out because I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Well,
Oh,
you know.
yeah. I was hitting you up on Facebook and Messenger, like, okay, I know she's out. I know she's out there somewhere, and I came across the video. I was like, that has to be her. But then that's like, when we're out here, we're in the world. So it
Yeah.
was different. We're different out here. You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
wear regular clothes. We're out of our schmucks. And it's
We
just
look
like,
so
we're not wearing
different,
white
right? We're
tees.
not in our oranges. No, just kidding.
Yeah. So
Hey,
I
or
was
our
like,
grays.
you
Remember
lost
when we
weight.
went
You
and
look
took those
beautiful.
pictures in the yard?
Yes.
Those were
So
our first pictures. I think
I
those were my
know.
first prison pictures, I think.
My hair was so short. It was like up to here, remember?
It was short. Yeah, it
I was
looked
like,
good.
I didn't even know how to do it or like even deal with it or whatever. Hold on, who is it? Hold on. Okay. My dog's going crazy, guys.
How cute.
Yeah, she's a little poodle. But like I
How
said, hold
cute.
on. But like I said, it was just a very aspiring moment in time in my life because like I sat around and I absorbed it. But at the same time, I met some of the best people in my life that I will forever remember. You know what I mean?
I
And
know. We'll
I've
just
met
be
them in
friends
prison.
forever, you know, like I feel
Yeah,
like
for sure.
if I was ever like really depressed, I would be like, I'm gonna call Daisy or
And
somebody that I know that's gonna like get me in a good mood or whatever, because
and
I
it
know who my
hasn't
true friends are, you know?
been easy. Like it hasn't been easy, but it's definitely accomplishable. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like people were gonna get closed doors, but remember when one door closes, two more open. So
Or a
hey,
window or something. There's always, yeah.
something or dude or who cares? I'll make space in between the bucks, but yeah, I'm getting to the next step. Like I don't care. You know what I mean? But you want to have it, you want to have it for yourself. You want to do it on your own,
Well,
And
thank you
yeah,
so much for
you're
coming
welcome.
on the podcast, and
Of course.
I'm so grateful to you. Once I end, I'm gonna hit you send you a copy so that you could watch it
Yes.
and send it to whoever you want, and you
Okay.
could post it on your Facebook or
Thank
wherever and
you.
share it so people can see
Yes.
it.
Well, I do appreciate the invite. And like I said, we can do this whenever. Just hit me up. And as long as I'm not at work, we can
Well,
do
I
this
want
all
you
the time.
another time. I'm trying to get some people to come on because I want them to talk about like what us come on and talk about commissary or about the foods we eat or like
Oh,
a just
God.
different a conversation,
Yes.
like a group chat of all of
Yeah,
us.
for sure.
So when I
For
when I
sure.
organize something, I'll send you an invite, okay?
For sure. Already. Well, thank you guys. And I just
Thank
hope
you.
that something I said it'd be for somebody out there and it would just inspire them to do the right thing. We can all do it and it's accomplishable. I love you.
I love you too,
Bye.
friend. Bye.
Bye. Keep in contact. Don't be a stranger. Okay.
Signing
Bye.
time bars in the 505.
Woo woo.